Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dijah Alize. If you're new here, today I will be doing a video on how I do my iPad notes, more specifically how I do med-surg notes. So before we get into it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. So right here, I'm just showing my Apple Pencil. This is what I use for notes. Also showing the different apps that you can use, like Word. It works pretty much like the app that I use, which is GoodNotes 5. So with this, you can write, you can highlight. Most of the time you have a blank background unless you download others. But this is why I don't use Word. But if you need a free option, this helps. So GoodNotes is actually the app that I use. I separate my notes into folders by my quarters. So if you go into each folder, this is for quarter one. It's all the classes that I had in quarter one. As you can see, it was only 4. And all my notes are basically in those folders. My current quarter right now is quarter 2. This is all the classes that I have: skills, med-surg, contemporary issues in nursing. But this is my med-surg folder. So here's all my notes. As you can see, I color code them. And at my school, we combine med-surg and fundamentals for our first session of med-surg. And the way that I do my fundamentals notes is actually different than how I do my med-surg notes, but this is how some of them look. As you can see, it's color coded. I usually use the same color for the entire notes page. And then I separate it by section and what I need. So I use QuickNote. That's how I set up my notes. I like to use a blocked graphing paper. So I'll use that. I downloaded this. It's called the A4 white squared with no summary. It's kind of like a Cornell note. But you can use others. Some of the others that I've used that comes with the app is this 2-column one. I don't really like that one because it doesn't fill up an entire page, but it's helpful. These are the pens that you can use: fountain pen, a ball pen, and then you can set it to how you write. So the stylus and palm rejection has the sensitivity that you write in, and also a writing posture. You just choose which one fits you. So that's the one that fits me that I use, the highlighted one. And then you have different thickness and how you can do your pen. I usually use the middle one, which is at 0.45, and the thick one I use for titles at 1.55. Now I'm just going through the controls, which you kind of have to play with for yourself just to figure out how you want to do your notes, because you can type them or handwrite them. You can also add stickers and images, which I usually just use images, but this is how you use the lasso tool and also your writing. I know this is kind of sped up, but the main part is just how I do my notes. This is just a run through of all the controls, like shapes, straight lines, stuff like that. So yeah, and highlighters. So I use this little box that basically zooms in on the page, and I choose what color I would like to write in. This helps my handwriting write better. And this is how I do my titles. I usually just pick whatever color I'm going to use for my notes at random. And then I just type my notes out. As I type, you see that blue box over there. Basically, once you're writing into it, it kind of keeps your page scrolling left to right, and it keeps you moving so you don't have to do it yourself. My title was big on this page, so I'm going to resize it down to make it smaller and then just place it into where I need it to be. You'll see that basically I kind of made it a little too big just in general. So I'm going to have to add words at the second line, but I usually don't do that. I usually just, make it all on one line. But this is how I had to do for this specific note because the title was really long. So here, this is just how I do my titles. I highlight underneath because it makes a shadow effect, which I like. I see some people use calligraphy. I'm not good at calligraphy, so this is just how I do mine. Then moving on to the actual note taking, I basically go back to my regular pen, and I use the fountain pen once again for this, and I do the title of the concept I'm doing, which for this one was osteoarthritis. And basically I just write that out in big letters, and then I'm going to highlight it with the thick highlighter, which is the largest one. And then I start on my actual like smaller concept. So for med surg, you have different concepts like pathophysiology, the etiology, stuff like that. I'm not going to show you guys the whole thing, but I do highlight smaller with my subtitles, and I'm using the ball pen to write during this part. So then I just use usually a bulleted way of just doing it. You can really take notes and whatever works for you, but this is how I do it. And as you can see, it's writing just like writing in any regular format, like you would do in a regular notebook, but it's just with an iPad. So you're saving paper, save the universe, but or save the world, not the universe. But yeah, so basically this part I just sped up. It's just me writing the notes. I do it by the sections that are in my book, and for med surg, like I said, it's usually in the same way for each one. And I do shorten my notes. I don't write everything from the book. I just write in a shorthand manner. But I'll let you guys watch this, and I'll stop talking your ear off. So here I'm just showing how I get my pictures from my notes. I just get them off of Google, as I've said in one of my vlogs. I really just search up like nursing cartoons for whatever condition I'm looking at, save one, and then I just add it with the images button in the notes, which you'll see in a little bit. For this one, I couldn't really get a good picture like I usually use, so I just got a mnemonic that will help me. Then once I go back into the GoodNotes app, like I said, I use the images tool, press that, and then I insert my image. And with this, you can resize it just like you do your text and move it around. And then I'm just gonna outline it with the same orange pen since it's kind of like not matching my notes. So I'm gonna outline it with that. And once you make shapes, a lot of times the app will fill it in. You can turn off that setting by going to the little shapes app, but it's really up to you. And once I'm drawing this, I hit the shapes button first, and then I just outlined it so that it can be like perfectly aligned. But that's really just how my notes turn out. It's pretty simple actually once you get the hang of it. So yeah, so here's an overview of my notes and what they look like once I was done with them. And thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.